That's the ultimate compliment in the film world. It doesn't mean that Malia completely used her format and her style, but art inspires art. Now, the concept is two girls playing hand games on steps, and that's not groundbreaking.
So former President Barack Obama's daughter, Malia, is being accused of plagiarism. Nike released new ads for Asia Wilson's new sneaker campaign, which was directed by Malia Obama. Since the release, a filmmaker by the name of Natalie Jasmine Harris has come out via X, accusing Obama of stealing elements from her short film titled Grace for that Nike ad. Harris went on to say that Nike and Wilson should have just hired her instead of Obama, who benefits from quote unquote name recognition. Rodney, what do you make of the way that Natalie Jasmine Harris has come out accusing Malia?
Artists are passionate. Artists are passionate in what they believe through and through. I can speak to this with maybe a little bit of a wide perspective because I'm a filmmaker, right? I made 3 films, one of which debuted at the American Black Film Festival in Miami. And I've also shot commercials for Nike, right? So I can tell you that upon the creative process, you always grab screen grabs and references to sell a concept and idea. So if Natalie was inspired Malia, right? By virtue of some frames that she had put together, that's the ultimate compliment in the film world. It doesn't mean that Malia completely used her format and her style, but art inspires art. And so when you are an artist, you do have to be mindful that once you release work into the world, people will see certain things that you've done and try to implement it into their own work if they think it's fire enough. Now, the concept is two girls playing hand games on steps, and that's not groundbreaking, you know. And I watched Natalie's film, for the record. It's incredible. It's a really, really good film. I mean, really, really good. Really, really well done. She is talented for sure. But this public outburst, especially on Twitter, I just think this is when you need mentors.
Yeah, I have 2 points. First of all, Malia Obama doesn't even want to go by Obama, right? Let's make that clear. She goes by Malia Ann professionally. She doesn't even want the name recognition. And I feel like when you look at the Obama girls, like they are really trying to distance themselves from my dad was a former president. So for her to kind of throw that in there, I just didn't like the way that it came across on Twitter. Also, we've seen this hand clap, patty cake. We've seen this element before in film. We've seen it in The Color Purple, right? We've seen it in documentaries like Black Girls Play, right? So you actually got that from someone else. And I think that, like you just mentioned, Rodney, she should have just taken it as a compliment instead of as someone was stealing from her. I think it would have come across a lot better if she would have went on Twitter and been like, oh my God, like I see such similarities between what I just put out in this new Nike ad. And I'm just completely honored that if you were inspired by me, that's amazing. Like, I would love to work with you all in the future, but to say like, y'all should have just hired me, it just came across kind of nasty. And I don't know if that was what Natalie was trying to do. And now, unfortunately, we're not even talking about the greatness of Asia Wilson in her sneaker ad. We're talking about all of this.
The commercial is good. The shoe is beautiful. I wish I could have got a pair. It was so hard to get. They sold out super quick. We all know that Asia Wilson is the superstar in the WNBA. With the only person who's close to her is Caitlin Clark. But yeah, I wish we could talk more about the actual impact of this commercial, which I thought is very reflective and representative of what the Black experience is growing up. You know, I have 4 sisters, and so watching them play hand games. Hell, I play slide every now and again. You dig what I'm saying? Still to this day. I would love to be able to keep it sport and talking about this, but now we have somebody who, by virtue of feeling like maybe they're not getting what they deserve, you know, maybe they haven't been recognized and acknowledged in the way that they desire. You know, they have this emotional outburst. I will say this: I will give Natalie a little bit of credence. There is such a thing as social capitalism and social nepotism, of course, right? We do know this. And regardless of whether or not the Obama sisters are looking to distance themselves from the legacy of their father and try to carve out their own lane, they will always be the beneficiaries of being Obama's daughters. But we cannot, as a community, like, be mad at people being able to use the works of their parents to enter new doors. And so we had this conversation, the same conversation with LeBron James and Bronny. This is what nepotism looks like in our community. We cannot be the community, though, that gets upset when we finally are able to utilize nepotism, because we finally have some people within the community who are doing things big enough to open doors in any room. And so, I wish Natalie knew better, but this is why social media is so tricky for me, because it platforms everybody. It gives everybody a voice. Not to say that not everybody shouldn't have a voice, but there got to be some kind of aptitude test for social media. You got to pass a mental health test to have social media, bro.
Yeah. And like you just mentioned, I mean, being an artist, you have to know that this is what comes with art. I mean, in any sector. I mean, if you're talking about fashion, like actual artwork, even like stand-up comedy. We just had Earthquake on the show. He was talking about people stealing his jokes. Like, people are inspired by other art. And you were inspired by someone else when you created the movie Grace. Like you just mentioned, was amazing. So you can't kind of be nitpicky when you want to take inspiration. And then if someone did, we don't even know if she took inspiration. She might have, I don't know. But if Malia did, or Nike took inspiration from your work, then just be,
Yeah, but now who wants to work with the person who goes on social media and rants like this? Like, what big company or brand will now want to hire Natalie to create a body of work that maybe could contribute to the marketing direction of an impactful athlete like a Asia Wilson, like a Caitlin Clark, right? Instead of doing this public complaining, you could have opined behind the scenes to perhaps get an opportunity. Right. But she'll benefit from this because her film is attached to the articles that I've seen. And again, when people watch her film, I think they'll be really, really impressed. Hopefully going forward, she just learns a little bit of politics and PR, because a lot of art and filmmaking is predicated on good optics. And this, unfortunately for her, the start of her career, starting off with a bad optic. It doesn't mean that she'll forever exist in this space. Like I said, she's extremely capable, extremely talented. Probably inspired by other people complaining out loud and thinking that that's the way to go. And unfortunately, it's not. I'm upset that I didn't get the shoe. I'm looking forward to this WNBA season. I don't know if you saw Deja Kelly hit a buzzer beater last night for the Las Vegas Aces. There's been a lot of like WNBA basketball preseason has kicked off. And instead of talking about those things, we talking about Malia Obama. And that's because we want to have a big conversation about creativity, art, and how it inspires and all the things. But also the WNBA season is about to be lit. It's about to be super lit. It's so much energy around it. Yeah.
Did you see my short I just did on that? I basically just broke down all of the big happenings that were going on during training camp. From in Dallas, you had Dejanay and Paige Beckers kind of going back and forth, light banter on social media, which was really great. You got Angel Reese and Haley Van Lith. They reconnected in Chicago. Kelsey Plum in LA now. So I was just kind of going down like all of the things that make me excited about this upcoming season, because I feel like this is probably going to be one of the best seasons of WNBA basketball that we have witnessed.
Easily, barring injury. That's always a thing you got to be mindful of. Hopefully nobody gets injured. But even college basketball, Olivia Miles and Hannah Hidalgo got into it at a preseason WNBA game. It's drama.
What you thought happened? Because it looked like Hannah rolled up and was like, "What was that you was talking?" That's how it came across to me, allegedly. And Olivia's like, I don't know.
But she's young. She's still young.
I was going to say, what did you say about Hannah in the locker room?
What did I say? Remind me. I have a bad
memory.
You
made a mention to say that Hannah may have, reports are coming out that maybe she's not that friendly.
Yeah. Okay. Neither was Michael Jordan. I don't, but the Notre Dame alumni clearly have taken a side on this, because a majority of them have unfollowed, I believe, Olivia or Hannah. They've all, starting with, starting with Skylar Diggins, like there seems to be a turning of the shoulder and a cold shoulder that's being given to her. So,
I told you the host, like all of TikTok was against Hannah. Because she came out and she allegedly said some things that may have been interpreted as homophobic. So that, I
like it.
You didn't already got a lot of people.
I like it spicy. I'm looking forward to all things women's sports this year. It's going to be a good one. And I want to see all the storylines. I want to see who's dating who now. I want to see who done got their girl back. Like, I love the fact that you got lovers competing against each other in the WNBA.
Or on the same
Oh
team.
my gosh.
Or on the
And
same
on the
team.
same team. And on the same team. You know, that's crazy. Anyway, so listen, we so messy. But a lot to be said about Malia Obama being accused of plagiarism in her new Nike ad for Asia Wilson. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Should artists be allowed to borrow other artists' art in their own? You let us know your thoughts in the comments section, and let us know who you are super excited about seeing in this upcoming WNBA season. So many things to get into.